to your yoga class. You voted for it, so you've got it. We're going to be doing a relaxing vinyasa flow today. So start by seated. I also like to set the mood a little bit, get some incense burning, but just make yourself comfortable. This is going to be a really nice soft flow. We'll be focusing on a little bit of flexibility, really deep breaths, and just shutting the outer world out and coming within. So start in a cross-legged position. You can roll your shoulders down the back. Just start getting a little bit of heat in the body, stretching out, and then rolling the shoulders forward. And slowly coming back to stillness. Now in this cross-legged position, see if you feel your pelvis tucked under. How does your spine feel? If you're feeling comfortable, you can already bring your hands down onto your thighs, either palms facing down or up, and just close your eyes. So it's always good to take a moment to just check in with yourself throughout the day. See how your breath is feeling. Is your mind racing, or are you already quite calm? And think about how the body feels. Your torso. Are your shoulders dropping down from the ears and relaxing? How are your legs feeling? Your hands and your arms? And how the body feels as a whole. And just take this moment of stillness in the beginning to think of an intention, or otherwise we could call it a goal for this class, and maybe also something that you can carry on throughout the day. So especially when I want a relaxing flow, I normally try and think about stilling the mind. It's a really nice goal to have, to just shut everything out and just focus on breath and body. And allow all that inner chatter to calm down and slow down. But whatever your intention might be, just breathe that in through the nose. And sigh out the mouth. Slowly begin to flutter the eyes open. And we will do a really short breathwork sequence that is specifically designed for calming. It also allows you to focus on the body as well. So bringing one hand on top of your belly and one hand on top of your heart. Sitting up tall. What we're going to do is what's called a 3-part breath, where we breathe in 2 to the belly, 2 to the rib cage, and 2 to the chest, and then out for 6. And we'll do this 5 times. So you can close your eyes again. And we begin, so inhaling 2 to the belly, 2 to the ribs, 2 to the chest, and exhale 6, chest 5, rib cage 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, inhale belly 1 and 2, rib cage 1, 2, chest 1, 2, and then exhale from the top 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and again 2, and 1 in the belly, rib cage 2, and 1, chest 2, and 1, and exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and again belly, and rib cage, and chest, and out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, last time belly, 2, rib cage, 2, and chest, 2, and exhale chest, and rib cage, and then belly button towards spine, and slowly come back to your regular breathing. You can bring your hands back down on your knees, flutter your eyes open, and let's come onto our backs. So keep that relaxed state of mind as you bring the feet down onto the mat. Slowly roll your way onto the mat, and then bring the knees into the chest. So simply rock from side to side here. Get a nice soft gentle massage of the lower back. You can have your eyes closed or open, however you're feeling. And then if you'd like to, you can make some circles with the knees, either together or separately, in one direction, and then switching direction. Really getting a nice massage around every part of the lower back, the sides. And then slowly coming back to stillness. Keep your right knee in towards your chest and just make your left leg long along the mat. And for a moment, just bring that right knee towards the right shoulder. Just getting a nice hip compression here. Breathing. And then when you're ready, bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Right arm goes out to the side. And then just bring your right knee over the left leg, coming into a nice spinal twist. Now the key here is to make sure your right shoulder blade is still on the mat. You can gaze towards your right hand and just slowly using the left hand to guide your right knee closer towards the ground. Breathing deeply here, seeing if you can send some nice breaths into your belly. And as you exhale, bringing the belly button towards the spine and seeing if that can help you twist a little deeper. Inhaling deeply. And exhale. Slowly coming back to center. Hug that right knee in one more time. And then swapping sides. So right leg goes out long. Left knee comes in towards the shoulder. Just slowly bringing that knee closer towards your shoulder here. Getting that nice hip compression in. And then when you're ready, bringing the right hand on the outside of the left leg, and then just bringing your left knee over, bringing the left arm out to the side, closing the eyes off. And again, just checking in and making sure that you have that left shoulder blade down on the mat. Gazing towards your left hand. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring that belly button towards the spine. One last breath here. And exhale. Then slowly coming back to center, bringing that left knee in towards the chest one more time. Getting that last hug of the knee in towards the shoulder. And then let go. Now we're going to bring both of our feet onto the mat and we're going to come into a simple, soft bridge series. So you can make sure that the tips of your fingers touch the back of your ankles and see if you can rotate your pelvis so the lower back is flat on the mat. And then as you bring your arms up to your shoulder height, we're going to inhale, slowly lifting those hips up into the air. And as you inhale, bringing the hands behind you. And as you exhale, bringing the arms back, bringing the hips down, and maybe touching the fingertips on the mat. Breath to movement. Inhale to lift. Deep breath as you move your arms and your hips. And as you exhale, bringing those arms and the hips down. Inhale to lift. And exhale, bringing your entire spine back onto the mat. One last one to lift. And exhale, coming back down. Now bringing both knees in towards the chest. One last hug before we rock and roll up and down the spine, massaging the entire spine all the way to the neck. One last one before we cross over at the ankles and make our way into a nice tabletop position. So getting into a nice tabletop here, we're looking to have the hips over the knees and the shoulders over the wrists. Really spread those fingers out wide, so we're getting a nice grip with the palms here. And we're just going to move, inhaling round, coming forward, round to the left and back. We're just getting a nice stretch in the wrists here, and also connecting that breath to movement. Inhaling and exhaling, and then switching the direction, so inhaling forward and exhaling forward and exhale. And then if you're feeling good here and comfortable, you can bring those fingertips facing towards you, tuck your toes under, and we're just going to slowly rock back and forth. So we get a nice stretch in the wrists, but also coming into the forearms now. Just be gentle with how far back you rock and how much you're stretching the forearm here. Listen to the body. And then keeping your toes tucked under, next time just come to sit back on the heels, stretching out the feet this time. This can be quite an intense stretch, but try stay in it for a little moment before you come back down, and just shake out your wrists. So not so often that we're really stretching out the wrists, but it's so important, especially with all of this texting and computer using that we're doing. So you can bring the arms up and down, and then slowly coming back forward into our tabletop. And then keeping the lower body as it is, we're going to walk forward into puppy pose. I love this stretch for the shoulders. So walking those hands forward, you simply just drop your forehead down. And try and keep both arms active, so don't just fall into this. Really push into the hands and you'll start to feel that active shoulder stretch. Breathe deeply. And exhale. If you're feeling really flexible, you can also bring your chest and your chin down, and even coming up onto the fingertips here. Otherwise, stay here for 2 more breaths. And exhale. 1 more. And exhale. Slowly bring your hands to either side of you and bringing yourself back up into tabletop. And then walk the hands forward again. We're going to tuck the toes under, bringing the hips up into downward dog, and stretching out the back of the legs here. So just bend the knees generously here. Remember, this is a relaxing class. And what you might want to do is just walk from side to side, bringing one heel down at a time and feeling that nice stretch along the back of the legs. And maybe you want to shake your head yes and no, just making sure there's no tension in the neck or the shoulders. Breathing deeply here in your downward dog. And then slowly come back to stillness again. We're going to bring our left foot into the middle of the mat and bring our right leg out behind us. Bend the knee and open up that hip. See if as we're in this nice hip stretching position, you can keep your shoulders stable so both of them are parallel. And then maybe you want to straighten the leg and bend the knee. Or perhaps you prefer some little circles here. Whatever feels good for you right now. We're just about opening the hips here. So take whatever is necessary for you to feel good. Remembering to keep breathing. And then slowly coming back to center, we're going to bring that right foot forward to the top of the mat. Let that left knee come down, and we're in a low lunge. So lifting up here, see if you can make sure you're bringing that right hip in towards the body, so the hips are parallel and facing the front of the mat. Inhale, lift those arms up so your fingertips are reaching the sky. And then as we exhale, we're going to bend the elbows and bring them in towards the ribs. Gaze up and open the chest, stretch out your neck, and inhale, lift. Exhale, open, and inhale to lift. Exhale, and lift. Last one, and lift. And then slowly float those fingertips to frame that front foot. Exhale, bringing the hips back. flexing your foot, and as you inhale, lengthen the crown of the head towards the front of the mat, straightening out your spine. And then exhale, folding over the leg. Staying here for a few moments as we really stretch the back of this right leg. Try and keep that foot flexed. And exhale, lengthening the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly coming forward again. And then just walk that right foot to the outside of the mat. And we're going to come into lizard pose. So an even deeper hip stretch. You can stay here up on the hands, or even if this is not accessible for you, just grab a block or anything that you can just put your hands on here to keep your top body stable. And if you're feeling flexible, you can also bring your forearms down. Just make sure to keep that length in the neck, and maybe rock from side to side, seeing how that feels. Maybe you want to come to the outside edge of your right foot and open the hip up even more. Wherever you are, just keep breathing deeply, opening up that hip. And exhale. And then slowly coming back up onto your hands. We're going to walk that foot, so toe heel that foot to the opposite side of the mat and come into pigeon pose. So try to keep that right foot flexed. You walk that back leg out, and then I like to try and push my hands next to my hips so that the hips face the front of the mat, and then just drop back down again once I feel comfy. And you can either stay here with your hands in front, keeping your spine long, or maybe you want to drop those forearms down. Maybe you want to come to rest your head on top of your hands. Wherever you are today, stay here for 3 deep breaths, really stretching out that right side glute. Pigeon pose can bring a lot of emotions. We store a lot of stress in our hips. So sometimes this moment of silence is one of the most important during a yoga class as you stretch out and release tension. Inhale. And exhale, maybe you want to sigh out the mouth. One more inhale. And exhale. Slowly coming back up onto the hands, tucking those back toes under, and just lift your leg up one last time, opening the hip, and then bringing the right foot down. Time to take that on the other side now. So bringing the right foot in the middle of the mat, lifting your left leg up, bending the knee and opening the hip. Trying to keep those shoulders stable again and parallel. And then maybe you want to do whatever you did on the other side. So straightening the leg and bending the leg, or just taking some nice circles in one direction and the other. Really how you feel today, go with that. And remembering always to keep connected to the breath here. And then slowly coming back to stillness in your 3-legged dog, and then just simply bring that left foot forward, and this time dropping the right knee down, coming into low lunge. Coming up onto the fingertips, and then when you're ready, bringing those arms up by the ears. And let's take those chests open again. So exhale, bringing the elbows in towards the body, lean back, open the chest, stretch your throat. Inhale, arms by the ears. Exhale, bending the elbows. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And last one, exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale the hands, framing the foot and bringing the hips back. Flexing that left foot this time. And try and bring your spine long, the crown of the head is facing towards the front of the mat. And when you're ready, folding over this left leg. Keeping that foot flexed, we're really getting a nice deep stretch in the whole of the left leg here. Breathing deeply. Keeping the spine long and your breaths deep. And then exhale, coming forward. Walking that left foot to the left side of the mat here, coming into lizard on this side. And again, just noticing that probably both sides do not feel exactly the same, and that's totally okay. And coming into whatever you did on the other side, so either swaying from side to side, staying still on the forearms or on the hands or even on blocks. And enjoying this really deep hip stretch on the left side. Breathing deeply. Maybe even closing the eyes to get deeper into yourself. Shutting the outside world off as you take a moment for you. And exhale. Wherever you are, let's all come back up onto the hands as we toe heel that left foot over to the right side of the mat now. Again, just walking that back leg out, bringing the hands to either side of the body just to get yourself settled, and coming into one-legged pigeon on this side. And then just seeing how you feel. Maybe you want to come onto the forearms or on top of the head, on top of the hands. Wherever you are today, just focus on closing the eyes and coming inwards. Sending deep healing breaths into this left glute. Seeing how you feel. And seeing if with every exhale you can come a little bit deeper into the stretch. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then slowly coming back onto the fingertips, tucking the back toes under, and coming into our three-legged dog one last time, bending the hip, opening the leg, and then bringing your left foot to meet the right, downward facing dog. Let's just stay here for one nice breath as we become centered and balanced again. And then walking those feet slowly to meet the hands in the middle of the mat, and then walking our feet mat width apart, heels in, toes out. Sit your butt down and let's come into Malasana Yogi Squat. I'll just turn to face you. Bringing the hands together at heart center and using the elbows to really push those knees open, and then closing the eyes. Seeing if you can really bring the thumbs to the heart, bringing the weight to the back of the heels. How do your hips feel? Checking in. Seeing if you can use the elbows to push the knees open even more and getting a nice deep stretch in the hips. I like to watch TV like this. It's a really nice hip stretch that you can do kind of passively. Letting the hips drop down and the chest rise as if you have helium in your heart and a weight in your hips. And then slowly sitting your butt back and finding your way into seated again. Now, getting into a nice cross-legged position, we'll inhale our arms up overhead and exhale the right arm down, left arm up overhead. And let's bring this into a moving stretch. So now, coming through the middle, left arm down, right arm up. And then moving to the other side, stretching out each side, keeping both chest, shoulder blades down the back of the chest open. Feeling that deep stretch, breathing. And exhale. One more time on each side. And exhale. And then coming up to center, arms by the ears. Stretch. And then bringing the fingertips down, and let's just walk the hands out for one last stretch here. Dropping the forehead down, and maybe the forearms. And just really working on pushing those hips back and getting the hips staying on the mat as you lengthen the crown of the head forward. Really stretching out the back body. Inhaling deeply here. And exhale, sigh out the mouth. Slowly lifting the head, walking the hands back bit by bit towards you. Bringing your hands together at heart center, closing your eyes, and just connecting back with the intention that you set at the beginning of this class. Feel your heart beating on your thumbs, and feel gratitude for yourself for showing up to class today. I'm proud of you. And exhale, sigh out the mouth. You can flutter your eyes open. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you next time, and hopefully you feel super relaxed now. And yeah, see you on the mat.